and that is using resource lists and collections. This is especially important when you are supporting teachers as they begin teaching lessons on a particular topic. It is something that each of us can do remotely, so it's a good way for you to remain engaged with your school communities and a way that you can show how you support them. So Destiny Classic uses resource lists, and then in Destiny Discover, which I will show you in this next section, has kind of the same things. It's called collections. And what's really nice about collections is that you can actually include non-cataloged materials. You can include videos that you find on the internet. You can include documents that you might have that will support this unit. In the collections, the private would be the ones, I'm sorry, that's wrong. Featured are going to be the classroom ready. There's some good information there, and it might be something if a teacher is looking for materials and you find a classroom ready collection that you could share. Public is going to decide if each patron can view everything in the district, only those that are associated with either elementary, middle, or high school, or you can limit it so that only those at the school themselves can be shared. And then the private tab is going to be the patron's own collections. And I have here a link to the how-tos for collections, and that will be included in the material that we send out soon. So I'm transitioning back to, let's see, did I expand that enough? Let's see, is that better? Let's see, we'll see if that gets everything still on the screen. Is it going off the screen or?
No, it looks good.
Looks good, okay, I'm sorry. So here we are, this is the classic interface. You have a home page. Because I'm logged in as teacher librarian, I have a dashboard, catalog, circulation, and reports. And at some of these, the menu items that you see depend on the levels of the credentials that you use to log in. If you're using Circ Manager, then there are specific tasks that have been turned on that you can do. Circ Assist has different ones, and the teacher librarian can control. So if you try to do one of these tasks and you're not able to get to the places that we've shown you, then talk to your teacher librarian and see if that is something that you can do to support her. And then she would need to go in and mark those tasks in the access level. So as we're talking about resource lists, those are going to be in the catalog tab. If we look over here on the left nav, we have a tab that is resource lists. And here are the lists that I have created in my teacher librarian with my teacher librarian username. And if we click to view this first list on weather for first grade, then we will see a list of, first of all, there's only 25 per page, but we know that there's a total of 32 books that are on this list. And you notice that we have library materials. You can also add websites through WebPath Express. And I don't know that we have any digital, no, we did have Scholastic TrueFlix that was imported into the digital resources, but we don't have that anymore. So you scroll down and this is a list of books. It's very easy to create a list. We're going to go back to resource list, and it all starts with this button right here, add list. So we are going to create a list on, let's do pets. I can decide whether or not I want to make this list public locally, And you can even decide not to share it at first until you get it created, and then you can come back and share it. You can add a co-owner. I'm going to type in Miss Pamela Taylor's name. Oh, she did not come back because I had only my patrons selected. And, oh, Pam, you're still listed for Freedom. Look at that. Okay, so I'm going to click and add Pam. Okay, so she is my selected user. I am sharing this list with her. She would have the ability to share it with a teacher librarian or add things to it also. So now here is my pets list, and I'm going to go into catalog first and find some resources to add to my list. Oh, I'm like, why am I on the same place? Well, I'm on resource list. I need to go up to library search, and I'm going to type in pets. I'll click by subject, and I can go through here and select the books that I want to include in my list. So I have some students who have pet tarantulas. So I'm going to add this book. Now we can see at the very top here that the selected list is pets. If you have just created a resource list, that is going to be the one that's showing, but you have access to all of them, and you can select another list at any time during a search. I'm going to go back to, I'm on my pets, and I'm going to add this book on tarantulas. And it's as easy as clicking this button that says add to this list. And when you do, I have to scroll down to it again, but we see that this book is in this list. And it tells us right up front, oh, we have another child who has a pet iguana. Let's add that one. And now we have 2 books that are in this list. If we click on, let's say we accidentally added a material. If you click in this list, it takes you to the list and it allows you to remove the book if you would like to. You can also go to, over here on the left nav, you can go to WebPath Express and you can type in pets. Okay, all of these options at the top allow you to limit the material that is coming back. So if you wanted to make sure that you added a video about pets, then you can change the format to video. You can choose from different sources. I'm going to leave that with everything. Related topics. Ooh, there's one that's pets, so I'm going to do that. You can even select the Lexile level, which is another way to really find specific resources to support a grade level or a teacher. Domain would mean whether or not they are .edu resources, or if you want to make sure you're not including things from Australia or Canada. I have no idea what .ch is. I know UK is United Kingdom, but that allows you to limit. And also you can decide on what language you would like. And then down here is our list. I'm going to click Get Results because I changed video. Ooh, and I went from, ooh, let's go back and look at that again. So when I did my first search for pets, I got a total of, well, let's do it that way, 573 results. So the more that you limit your results, right now I'm only going to do related topics and click Get Results. Now I'm down to 14. And if I wanted to go back in and make sure I select video and get results, Now I am down to only 5. But I have, so all of these are going to be videos. I know it's a video because it has this icon, and I can decide to add everything on this page. That's going to be 5 resources. So let's add the page. All right, and now when we go to resource lists and we look at pets, we have 2 books. And if we click on websites, there are our 5 videos. So that is an easy way for you to create a resource list, and then you can share it. You can save it as a text list, which may not be great in terms of access, but if you wanted to be able to share it, that would be one way that you could do it. You can just email the list, which is my favorite. So if I put in my DeKalb County email, resources for unit on pets, and then you could type in a message and send. And that information will be emailed to the teacher. Those are the options. You can also click here for a printable version. Of course, again, with Access, it's going to have the URL, but it's not going to be a link. So someone would have to either copy and paste that into a browser, or type it in if it's actually on a printed sheet. Okay, so are there any questions on resource lists before we go to collections?
I had a question. I like the fact that you could add all 5 videos, but I kind of didn't see how you did it.
Oh, okay.
So, and I looked down and it was already in there.
That's all right. So we went to WebPath Express. That is how we found the resources that are going to show up under the website's tab. I did a search for pets, and I narrowed down using these options at the top. I narrowed down the video, and so they have topic lists, and I narrowed it down to pets. Now, notice, even though I've made those 2 changes, it's still showing me 573 resources. If you change any of these items at the top, you're going to have to click on the Get Results to make sure that these have been applied to the search results. Because I like all 5 of these videos, then I clicked this button, Add Page. If I did not want to add the entire page of 5 videos, then I would have had, for each one, there is going to be a button that says add this item, and I would have just clicked the individual links like I did with the books. Does that help?
Yes, it does. Thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome. Are there any other questions?
There's one comment from Larissa, and she says, resource list reminds me of Destiny's version of Wakelet. I'll definitely use this for 2020-21 school year.
Oh, yay! That's awesome. The one thing that I do like about it too is for the list at the very bottom, you can actually create a citation list. Now you're going to have to do it for each tab, so it's only going to put library materials together. But there you go. Those are your citations. And we definitely want students to be able to tell where they got the information they're using. And if a resource is on a resource list, then you can very easily generate those citations. Okie dokie. All right, so let's go over to Destiny Discover. So who can tell me what is the name of this interface that we're looking at? Destiny what? What do we call this one that has the blue bar at the top with the menus?
The classic.
Classic, very good. And now we're going to go into Destiny Discover, and you will see it's kind of the same stuff. It just looks a lot different. So this is Destiny Discover. When we roll over to version 18, there will no longer be a Destiny Quest. That is another interface. Interface meaning it's just the way things are arranged on the page. So Destiny Quest is going bye-bye forever. So we will still have Destiny Classic and Destiny Discover. We do not have resource lists in Destiny Discover. We have collections. And I'm going to click on the View Collections button. And it always defaults to public. So you should be able to see 3 different, they're not really tabs, but 3 different labels, I guess, here. Public is what it's always going to default to. I have created one list, or I'm sorry, not one list, one collection that I made public. And then I can see that these 2 collections were created at other elementary school libraries in DeKalb County. This one is by Catherine Holton. If we click on it, we see that she has added a lot of different, well, it actually is going to show us at the top. There are 17 different items that she has listed here. So we are looking at it in this view. If you can follow my cursor, we can change so that things are very organized and one on top of the other, or we can even view it as more of a list. And when you do that, you can tell what type of item has been added. The first one is a web page, and then down here we have a document, we have an article. Here are books, and I will show you how to create one that will shows you how you decide what each item is. Oh, I don't want that. I want to get collections. All right, so this is public, but before we go in and create a new one, let's look at featured. I don't understand why featured is not kind of the default, but again, coding. It's all in the directions, and they have it set so that a patron will automatically go to public. Classroom ready collections are high dollar. Follett has given us access to their classroom ready collections kind of indefinitely while we are all dealing with the COVID. So I'm sure that they'll give us notice before they turn it off, but this is a great resource that we want our teachers to know about. And here's the thing, if you are helping to find resources for teachers, whoa, this is going to make you look like an absolute rock star. So let's go in and look at science. Okay, so here are all the different collections, and they just keep going and going. The number is going to be the grade, but you don't have to go through and scroll because you can actually filter. So this icon is for filter. Let's say I'm looking for 2nd grade science resources. There we go. That narrows it down. And let's see, let's go to Earth systems. Okay, processes that shape the earth. It gives you, now this is not the Georgia standard, but it will tell you what standards these resources support. And then you can go, you can share this, and the teacher can decide which of these she would like to use. Or if you know that she's only doing volcanoes at the moment, do you see how, if you go over here and look, these 3 dots, can y'all see that on the screen? Click it and look at this, copy to. If you have already created a collection that you're going to add resources to, you can copy any of these resources into one that you have created. And that allows you to kind of pick and choose. This is 13 items, but if you only want to include 3 of these, then that's exactly what you can add to another document. Okay, and remember, this is how we change the way it shows on the page. Okay, there we are. Now, if you're not seeing this Classroom Ready collection, then you are going to need to ask your teacher librarian to change some settings. And again, this information is going to be included. For collections policies, there is actually a check mark or a box that needs to be checked so that we can access featured collections. If that is not checked, then you won't have access to the Classroom Ready collections because that is in the featured, I keep saying tab. It's not a tab, but it's under featured collections. Okay, and this is something where students at our school are able to create a private collection, but they can only share it with our own school. And if I don't want them to share it with the school, then I uncheck that box and I would click save. So whatever is checked, it means that that type of patron is going to have permission to do all of this. Okay, that would be something that the teacher librarian would set. To get out of this, we will close. All right, so those are featured. Lightbox is another great resource. You can filter. I still have it on second grade. If I clear, it's going to show them all to me. I can type in here for, let's see, volcanoes. All right, so it gave me hurricanes. That looks, oh, tsunamis. Interesting. Earthquakes. There's volcanoes right there. If you wanted to share this entire collection, look how easily you can do that. Watch my cursor. Over here to the, well, there are 3 dots, but it's connected with lines. That allows you to generate a link that you can share with a teacher, or the teacher could actually use that link and share this collection with students in a Google Classroom or in a Verge classroom. All you need to do is click the copy, and then you're done. This allows you to, I believe it allows you to email it. Oh, it's going to open up my Gmail account. Oh, shoot. Here we go. Now I got to go back in. Sorry, folks. All right, are there any questions before we move on to creating a collection from scratch?
Do collections that you create in Destiny Classic automatically feed in, or can they be fed into Destiny Discover?
Well, you know what? You have just set me up for a perfect transition going into private, because that is exactly what I did here for my 2021 nominee lists for the Georgia Children's Book Award and the Georgia, what's the P stand for? Picture Storybook Award. Okay, so if you don't have any collections yet, you're going to see what looks to be like a book shape, and it's going to have a plus on it. Once you do have collections, you're going to have to look all the way in the corner and find the plus. That's how you're going to create a new collection. So because we just created a resource list called Pets, let's name this collection the same thing, pets. And in fact, let's not even do that, because right here, this says import resource list. So from the very beginning, they give you the option of leveraging what you've already done. Now, I will give you one caveat. Are you listening? Once you import a resource list into a collection, you're going to have to update it in both places if you want to. If you add it to the resource list in Destiny Classic, it is not automatically going to include that resource in the collection. You would need to go back in if you're adding it to the resource list and you also want that same material to show up in the collection, you have to go to both places to edit it. Just want to make sure. We tried that yesterday and it didn't work. Checked on it again today just to see if maybe it was taking a little bit of time. Nope. Once you import the list, that's it. But it is really cool because as soon as I select the resource list pets, it gave it the title. You can decide who you want to be able to see it. I'm going to leave it private for right now. And you're going to click create and voila. Here are my 2 books. And how many videos? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It's showing up as a web page. Now, some people really don't like that the WebPath Express resources come in with this generic image. That is a known issue, and Follett is working on it. If you wanted to, you could click the 3 arrows, and you could edit this particular resource. And here is step 1, the title and description. You could edit that, or right here, number 2, when you click there, you could upload. So you could upload just a picture of a pet. You could upload like a video icon so people could automatically tell it was a video. So you can change. That's actually what I did with the picture of like the story time that you see with in the other collection that I did right here. So this picture of the little lady reading to students, that is a graphic that I already had and I added up. Okay, so importing a resource list is one way that you can add an item to a collection. And let's start another one. And this time we're just going to call it the test collection. We're not going to import anything in. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, blah. There we go. All right, so this is a brand new collection. Notice it says add an item. Oh, you can also add a picture here for the entire collection that will show by the same way, clicking the 3 dots stacked up together and edit. And again, 1, 2, this is where you select grades and subjects, and 3. The colors just affect the bottom strip. And if you want an image, you can either select a stock photo. That one's cute. Or right here for upload, you can go into your computer and get a picture and add that also. That's pretty. All right, so adding an item. Here are the things that you can add. You can add a URL. And that's from any web page, any video. If you want all of your videos to play back to back to back, you can add a playlist, or you can create a playlist and add in the things that you have already added with the URL. You can upload a file, and it you have to sign in with one of those. To be able to add a note. it's almost like, is it Padlet? Let's see. Hello. Thank you for visiting this collection. And that is what a note looks like. Again, down here in the corner, we'll go back. You can add a collection to a collection. Has to be one of the ones that you have created, but you just tick the box and it adds in here. Notice that it adds in just the collection icon. It doesn't like bring in all the books separately. And finally, this is importing the resource list. So that's what we started out as an option, but those are the types of things that you can add to a collection. And my back to school collection shows you all of those here. I added a collection, I added a website, a book. And again, if we look at it with this layout, then it shows all of the things that we have added. It is super duper easy to add. Let's see, I'm going to go back to Destiny Discover. It is very easy to add items from Discover into a collection. Okay, let's see. Ooh, Erie Elementary, that looks fantastic. So if you click on the title and go to more details, the collection tab is right there for any patron who has the ability to create a collection. When you click collection, it's going to ask you which one. I want to add this to back to school. I can also add it to test collection. All right, so I'll stop there. Are there any questions?